Dave Campbell's Texas Football here at the 2023 Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention here in Houston. I'm Greg Tepper, sitting alongside the head coach of the Killeen Kangaroos. Go Roos.
Yeah.
Go Roos.
That's it.
It's Coach Josh Sadler. Coach, how are you?
Doing great, man. Great to be here.
How are things in Central Texas?
Doing good. It's very hot. You know, it's a different heat, of course. You know, down here you'll drown in your own sweat. Up there you're going to bake to death. So, you know, it's just hot in Texas, baby. But you know what? The old Roos, we're getting out, we're working, and they're getting after it and, you know, trying to get ready.
So last year, your first year at the helm, 4-6. What do you know now that if I asked you that you didn't know if you were sitting in this chair a year ago?
I don't know. I mean, going in, I was prepared. You know, prepared by, you know, guys that I'd worked for, Don Price, Scott Stewart, those guys. Knew some of the problems that were ahead of us, being that we played clean, you know, at Temple. So, really, the thing I didn't know was, you know, how tough the piece of culture was going to be to turn. You know, those kiddos, they work hard. They really do. And kids are kids anywhere you go. They'll do what you expect them to do. But the culture piece is so huge. And it's taken, you know, it's been a good off season, and those kids have really bought in, and we're getting in the right direction. Yeah,
because it strikes me that Killeen has always struck me as, and part of it is just the base there and stuff, but that's a blue collar town.
Yeah.
As hardworking.
Yeah.
Just the yes or no, sir, we'll just point in the right direction. But it sounds like within that program, you've still got to build those principles. You've still got to build those things, those expectations, those core values. Right?
Absolutely. You know, when I got the job, the funny thing is, you know, Bob McQueen, who's legend at Temple, you know, got a chance to sit down and talk to him. And one of the things he told me was, he said, Josh, he said, the kids in Killeen are a lot like the kids in Temple. They will work their tails off, and they will hit you in the mouth. That is still there. If you dig deep and find enough, you know, find hard enough to find that piece of it, it's there. And when you find it, baby, it's going to be great. And, you know, we're trying to find that. We're trying to strike gold. And, you know, those kids are really buying into the program and what we're doing. And like I say, the culture piece is coming around. And I'm excited for what the future has to hold for them.
So last year, like with a 4-6 mark, is that the kind of thing you talk about during the offseason, or is it ball it up, throw it away? You know, there's kind of two kind of schools of thought. We're going to talk about this. Hey, here's what went wrong. Here's how to fix it. Or clean slate, this is 2023.
Right.
Where do you fall on that?
Well, 4-6 is the reality of the situation. I mean, we can't change that. You know, that we were in some ball games. I mean, it could have easily been a 6-4 season, a 7-3 season, but you can't talk about the what-ifs. We have to talk about the reality. We have to talk about the facts. I mean, we were 4-6 and wasn't good enough. And, you know, we talked about it in the offseason. It was something that we do talk about quite regularly, because those kids need to understand that's the building point. That's the foundation of where we're coming from. And we talk about where we're going. And the transitional piece in between is where we are. And so every day there's something there that has a little bit to do with that 4-6, and it has a little bit to do with where we're going with it too. You know, the foundations of our program and the hashtags, so to speak, that we live by, you know, are just those things that it's an everyday piece of it. And 4-6 is a part of it, I can guarantee you.
You mentioned the offseason. Do you have a feeling quite yet on how this year's team may be different than last year's team?
You know, I think this year's team, the cohesiveness of it, you know, we use the metaphor of the hand. I know a lot of people do too, but, you know, it's last year, you know, when you're going to battle, it's kind of like we were swinging our hand like this and slapping people. You know, with an off-season in, we're just every day trying to bring that hand closer and closer together to build that fist so that we can go hit somebody with a little bit more force and a little bit more oomph, you know, hopefully so that it'll make a bigger difference whenever we get out there on the field. In the season. You
mentioned that you guys were in you had a number of games, 2 to 3 games that I think could have gone really either way. Is that just an experience thing? Is that just a matter of having the right guys in the right places? Is it, luck's a 4-letter word, but is it a luck thing? How do you turn those 3 games that kept you from being 7-3 in a playoff team into those 3 wins?
Belief and confidence.
Yeah.
I think that's what it all boils down to. I don't think last year they believed they were a playoff team. You know, I don't think they believed that they could beat those teams that we were in ball games with. I mean, we were in a ball game with Midlothian. We were in a dogfight with Midlothian until middle of the third quarter when it kind of went chaotic.
Yeah.
You know, it's 14-12. We're up on Ellison at halftime. And in the second half, we just can't get anything going offensively. 7-7 with Shoemaker at halftime. Can't get anything going offensively in the second half. You know, Stony Point was very much the same way. There's 4 ball games that I can point to where, you know, coming in out of the second half, I mean, we're thinking we've got a really good chance of this thing, and it just didn't work out for us. So, I mean, that season could have been completely different. It could have been 180 degrees different. I feel if the kids believed in themselves, if they believed that they were good enough to be in those situations, they were good enough to win those ball games, and that's what we've been really focusing on in the offseason is, hey, you are good enough. You know, you can do these things if you just believe in yourself and you believe in the guy standing beside you and believe in the coaching staff that's behind you, you know, and just believe every single day that we can do it.
So when we're talking about, you know, how Killeen has stormed into the regional semifinals kind of out of nowhere, 4-6 mark has gone into the stratosphere in the second year under Josh Sadler. Yeah. Who's going to be the guy? Who's the guy that's like, oh, they got the breakout year from him? He's the guy that's going to be we're going to be talking about. Who's the household name?
Well, you know, I'd love to pinpoint it on one guy, but I think there's several. You know, I think our outside receiver, TK Landors, should have a breakout year this year. You know, our quarterback's going to have to be the key component, in my opinion, Roderick Norman. He's got some talent, and I'm waiting on that young man to unlock that stuff. You know, because it's deep down inside of him. When he unlocks it, he finds it. It's really good stuff. But the one that I think is nobody's heard of, nobody knows is coming, is Carday Hicks, is our little running back. He's going to be a junior this year. He's got something special about him, and I'm waiting for that to blow up. I really think if we can keep him healthy, keep him going in the right direction, I mean, he's got a chance to be really special.
Josh Sadler, head coach of the Killeen Kangaroos. Coach, appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.